Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight we have a boys basketball game pitting the 7-10 Colfax Vikings, who are 3-6 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, against the 4-14 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are winless in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Vikings are coming off a disappointing 53-44 loss to the Thorpe Cardinals on Monday, while the Bulldogs are coming off an 82-47 win over the Independence Indies in a non-conference game on Tuesday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to play a complete game and prove that they're better than their 3-6 conference record would indicate, especially after their 53-44 non-conference loss at the hands of the Thorpe Cardinals. Now, in that loss to Thorpe, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'8" sophomore Elijah Ensminger, who hit 6 field goals, a free throw, and 2 3-pointers for 19 points. He was followed by Tristan Lenz and Nick Jensen, who each added 8 points. Thus far on the season, the Vikings are led in scoring by Ensminger, who's averaging over 12 points per game. He's followed by Nathan Hajdukovic, who's putting up over 8 points per game. Bryce Sikora adds another 8 points per game. Leading the way rebounding for the Vikings is Tristan Lenz, who's grabbing over 7 boards per game. He's helped out by Hajdukovic and Jensen, who each pull down around 4 boards per game. The Bulldogs are coming off an 82-47 victory over the Independence Indies on Tuesday. Leading the way for the Bulldogs was 6-foot sophomore Devin Halama, who picked up 16 points. He was followed by Grant Kaiser and Caden Wold, who contributed 11 and 10 points, respectively. Thus far on the season, Boyceville is led by Nick Olson and Simon Evenson, who are averaging over 8 points per game each. They're followed by Wold, Kaiser, and Mason Bowl, who are all adding around 7 points per game. Kaiser is also the leading rebounder for the Bulldogs, pulling down over 8 boards per game. He's followed by Jack Phillips, who grabs around 6 per game. Now, coming into tonight's game, the Vikings are averaging 52 points per game while giving up an average of almost 60. The Bulldogs are scoring 48 points per game and surrender 58. These two teams met back on January 7th, with the Vikings coming out on top 58-42. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Martin Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And Coach, on Monday night, the Vikings suffered what, in my mind anyway, had to be likely the most frustrating loss of the season, dropping their game to the Thorpe Cardinals 53-44. What can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, it was a tough game, and it was tough in the fact that, we lost, against a team I thought that a game that we could have won. It's our MO. We're trying to get rid of this MO of ours, but we keep starting off slow. And that's why you've seen me in warm-ups go out on the court now with these kids and try to get them going a little bit faster, do a couple drills out there with them to help the intensity level go a little higher. With that said, we got down right away 22-6. So we were down 18. Then we went on like a 33-15 run that includes the end of the first half into the second half, and took that 5-point lead with about 5 minutes left. And I thought, here we go. Here we go. We're starting to play the way we're capable of playing. Unfortunately, down the stretch, we didn't take care of the ball. We did not get the stops that we needed to get, whether you're at home or on the road, but especially on the road, you've got to play great defense. And we did up to that point, making a huge run like that, but we needed to finish the game out that way as well.
Well, tonight the Vikings have an opportunity to get any bad taste from that game out of their mouths as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs, a team that you defeated 58-42 earlier this season. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
Well, I think the Bulldogs are a team that is way better than their record says, just kind of like Thorpe. They're teams that are better than what their record says. If you just look at their record, you're going to think, they got 4 wins. But with that said, they just lost to Glenwood City by 2 points. They were up for 95% of that game. They've won 2 non-conference games here as recently. They just beat Independence yesterday by like 30 points. So they're a team that's starting to find their rhythm, starting to play well. Defensively, we've got to bring that effort, and we've got to bring the energy and stay positive and work hard. And if we can defend the way we're capable of, we can take care of business.
Now, it appears as though the Bulldogs focused their efforts through 5'10" sophomore Nick Olson and 6-foot junior Simon Evenson. Each one puts up an average of about 8 points per game. What do the Vikings need to do to keep these two under control?
Well, I think the main thing is, just not give up any uncontested shots, make them play fast, make them have to make plays, especially off the bounce, no catch and shot type looks for them. And then the kid that I also am very aware of is their post player, the 6'5" kind of kid inside. He's a big, strong, thick body kid that plays really physical. So he gets a lot of junk rebounds and putbacks, and he's starting to get his offensive skills down where he's starting to make some shots. So he's a kid that's been coming on strong for them. So those are kind of the ones I'm most worried about.
In addition to the 2 that I mentioned, and it appears they have 3 other players that are right behind those guys in scoring. They have Wold, Kaiser, Ball. To my untrained eye, it would appear as though this would be a prime game where the Vikings need to hold the Bulldogs to one and done each time down the floor and get the rebounding position. They're going to get shots. I mean, that's basketball, but limit them to one shot and get the rebound. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, you're 100% correct. It's, that's something that we pound in our players' heads all the time is that one and done mentality. The more of those that you can rack up in a row is how you build momentum. That's how you have stretches in the game where you score 8-10 points in a row. It's all about getting those stops, and that's what we're going to be trying to do. We're going to be throwing some different defenses at Boyceville. I'm sure they're going to do the same with us. You know, they last time they played a box and one on Hajdukovic, and then they played some man. They've played zone. They've played the gamut. I've seen them play just about every kind of defense that there is. In their last game, they played a 3-2, 1-3-1, and man, and press. So we have to be ready for all those things.
Now, here's a little, I guess you might call it coaching philosophy question for you. After a game like you had on Monday, where the Vikings allowed a big lead, then came storming back to take the lead, only to allow it to slip away, what can you say or do to help a team put that game behind them and regain that confidence going into tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I think in general, you know, I keep trying to show these kids that I do believe in them. And a lot of that belief comes with my body language and the body language that they share amongst each other. And we also have to have positive feedback. And I said, I'm the only one that has the opportunity to give any kind of a criticism to each other. That's my job as a coach. Their job as players is to stay really positive. And so energy is something that we always talk about energy, and energy is contagious, whether it's negative or positive. And so I only want to see and hear positive energy from our players. And that's how you have a lot of fun. That's how you have success.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will be able to share in a well-deserved victory celebration.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And go Vikings. And thanks for everything that you guys do.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. The Vikings are looking to get back on the winning track, especially in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. At the same time, the winless Bulldogs are looking to end that winless streak in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. So the stage is set for some exciting high school boys basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now in just a moment, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's conference boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
You've been tuned to Viking pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Lenz with the rebound puts it up and in. Christian Lenz gets the putback shot.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
And it's no good. Rebound taken down and put up and in. Ryan Albright with the rebound.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Inside, gives it off to Hoffman. Hoffman feeds underneath. The shot goes up and in by Nathan Hajdukovic.
Yeah, good cut there by Nate.
Good evening. Welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you some exciting Viking basketball from the boys' side of things tonight as the boys take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. JV game wrapped up just a little while ago, and the Vikings were victorious 62-23. And we've got a few minutes before the varsity game gets rolling. What gets your attention there, Dan?
Yeah, after Colfax's loss the other night at Thorpe, they got to come out tonight with a little urgency and move that ball up and down the court a little faster. Make sure their passes are going to be crisp. They got Boyceville has a 6'5" sophomore, so he'll probably clog up the middle. So it's important for Colfax to get out on the perimeter, like Albright and probably Sikora. And then maybe in the second half, maybe we'll see Irwin to get some three-pointers.
Yeah, and the Vikings want to get a sour taste out of their mouth after that game over at Thorpe. A game they truly thought they were going to be able to come away with a win, fall way behind, come back, take a lead, only to just basically not take care of the ball and drop the game by 8 or thereabouts. And that couldn't sit well. And we'll have to see how the Vikings respond after that kind of a loss. And if it remotivates them to come out and say, hey, we're better than this.
Yeah, Colfax is a good team. They just got to make sure they keep that intensity up and don't get too relaxed on the court. Sometimes they get a little in their own little element and kind of forget about things a little bit, and that kind of gets them behind.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got about 5 minutes to go before the start of this one, so why don't we get a couple words in from our fine sponsors, and then we'll come back and Dan will give us the starting lineups for tonight's game. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV and Viking TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Back here at Colfax High School, Vikings getting ready to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. And Dan, why don't you tell us who's starting things out tonight?
Yeah, here's the starters for the Boyceville Bulldogs. They're going to go with junior, 6 foot, number 2, Simon Evenson, 5'10" sophomore, number 4, Nick Olson, 5'4" sophomore, number 24, Braden Omhild. So that's all right. 6'5", and then they're going to go with 6'5" sophomore, number 32, Grant Kaiser, and 6'1" junior, number 34, Chase Hollister.
That's an interesting lineup. 2 juniors and 3 sophomores. That's a team looking to build.
Right. For the Vikings, they're going to go with 6'2 senior, number 2, Nate Hajdukovic. 5'10 senior, number 4, Bryce Sikora. 5'8 sophomore, number 10, Elijah Ensminger. 6'5 senior, number 22, Tristan Lenz. And 6'1 senior, number 24, Ryan Albright.
You could almost put pretty even money down that Tristan Lenz is going to be matched up against Grant Kaiser, and it'll be interesting to see how that matchup turns out. Lenz has really been coming on, especially defensively and rebounding wise, and
I think sometimes Lenz doesn't know how important he really is to this team. He's tall, he's strong, he can get his rebounds. He just has to keep that intensity.
Yeah, it's a matter of keeping track of your role and understanding your role and making the best of that, because if you do your role properly, the whole team functions like a machine.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and it's important for him to be a leader since he's a senior.
In fact, the Vikings, comparing the lineups, it's all seniors except for one. That's Elijah Ensminger. And he's the building of the future for the Vikings, as well as some younger players that come off the bench.
We got
a lot of promise for this Viking team in the next few years.
Yeah, if he sticks with it, Austin Swenson's going to be a big key to this team.
Next year, 6'5". He's only a junior. And then they've got guys like Jack Charlo, who's going to be back. He's 6'3", he's only a junior. Kyle Irwin is only a junior. I see guys like Mitch Medine is a junior. There's some talent ready to come back for the Vikings.
Yeah, and Nick Jensen is just a junior. He's got a lot of play time this year, so yeah, they'll be set.
Well, it's just about time to send it down to the scores table for the national anthem and the starting lineups for tonight's game. So why don't we do that right now?
Sung by Colfax High School freshman Jordan Johnson.
Colfax freshman Jordan Johnson with the national anthem tonight. And now we'll send it down and see if they do as good a job on the starting lineups as Dan did just a minute ago.
Welcome to Colfax High School for tonight's Dunk St. Croix boys basketball matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Bulldogs. Number 2, a junior, Simon Evenson. Number 4, sophomore, Nicholas Wilson. And now, the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings.
And there's the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Boyceville Bulldogs, it's Evenson, Olson, Romehild, Kaiser, Hollister. And for the Vikings, Hajdukovic, Sikora, Ensminger, Lenz, and Albright. Getting ready to jump center, Chase Hollister, not the big 6'5" guy, jumping for the Bulldogs. And for the Vikings, it's Tristan Lenz. Officials check to make sure everything's set. Steps into the center circle. Ball goes up and tipped, and the Vikings control it. Sikora with it. Brings it across the timeline. He's out between the circles, over to the right side to Ensminger, back out high to Albright. Albright between the circles, gets it over to the left side to Ensminger. Ensminger down the corner to Albright, puts it up and hits it. Ryan Albright starts things off with a 3. And the Bulldogs bring it down the floor. Olson on the dribble. He gets it over to the right side to Romehild.
Colfax and men.
Romehild brings it up between the circles to Olson at the top of the key. Over to the left side to Romehild. Then it's down to Hollister. Into the paint, then back out to Olson. 3-pointers no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. Sikora comes right through the center circle, over to the right side to Albright. Back to Sikora in the right corner. To the elbow to Hajdukovic, back out to Albright, over to Ensminger on the left. To Albright down in the left corner on the baseline to Lenz. Takes it to the glass, puts it up, no good. Rebound battled for on the floor. Last touch by the Vikings. Bulldogs bring it inbounds. Evenson brings it down the floor now for the Bulldogs. Puts on some speed, gets to the right baseline, puts the shot up, it's no good. Rebound and put back up and in by Kaiser. There he put his height to an advantage. Sikora gets it to Hajdukovic, takes it into the paint, runs into traffic. And the Bulldogs come away with it. Olson with it, high, wide, and right. He's still on the dribble. Takes it over around the right wing. Over to Romehild. Then to the top of the key to Hollister. Back out to Olson. On the right side, takes it to the top of the key. 3-pointer on the way. Off the back of the iron. Lenz comes down with the rebound. Ensminger quickly down the left side. Gets it back out to Sikora. Sikora back to Ensminger. To Albright between the circles. Over to Sikora on the right. Underneath to Hajdukovic. Back out to Albright. 3-pointer on the way. He hit it! Ryan Albright with his second 3 of the night. He's got all 6 points for the Vikings. Evenson takes it across the timeline. Gets it down to the right wing to Romehild. Romehild drives to the paint. Tries to pass it over. It looked like he was trying to get it to Kaiser, but overshot everyone. So the Vikings will have it.
Good start for Colfax.
Sikora to Hajdukovic. And then the pass to Lenz is a little wide and picked up by the Bulldogs. Down into the right corner is Romhild. Cross-court pass over to Evenson. He takes it up between the circle. Over to Romhild, then down to Olsen in the right corner. Tries to get it to Kaiser, gets knocked out of bounds by Hajdukovic. Vikings double teaming Grant Kaiser. Little front and back action. Ball comes in to Hollister. He gets it out to Romhild, high, wide, and right. Takes it to the free throw line. Gets it back out to Hollister, over to Olsen on the left side. Olsen just standing there. Now he starts dribbling, comes down the left side to the baseline, pulls up a jumper, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. Ensminger feeds it down to Sikora, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's on Evenson. It is. And we have a hockey line change for the Bulldogs.
That's Evenson's first foul.
In fact, that's the first foul on anybody. Whole new set of bodies in there for the Bulldogs. Albright with a three attempt, no good. Rebound. And we're going to get out of bounds off the Vikings.
We got a foul.
No, we got a foul. We got the foul called on Lenz. I would have been surprised if we hadn't got one. All right, coming down the floor are the Bulldogs. Wold on the dribble. Tries to get it out high, and the ball gets knocked loose, and the Vikings have it. Hajdukovic gets it over to Sikora, to Albright from the corner, puts it up, no good. Lenz with the rebound to Ensminger. Ensminger comes down the right baseline, it's no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound, and we're going to get a travel called on Sikora. Halima is in there. Wold. Jack Phillips is in there for the Bulldogs. Bowell. And the ball gets knocked loose. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Mason Bowell. It is. First personal, second team foul. Vikings inbound it. Parker Coombs is also in there, I believe. Well, maybe not. Oh, Peter Weldon is the other one. I knew I'd only called off 4 before. We have a whistle and a traveling call. They got Lenz for taking an extra step. Jensen into the lineup for the Vikings. Lenz takes a seat. And the Bulldogs inbound it, Wold with it. He gets it over to the left side to Phillips. Phillips tries to get it back across court, stolen by Ensminger. Gets it to Sikora, lays it up and in. 8-2, Vikings on top. Vikings putting on some full court pressure, and ball gets stolen by Hajdukovic, who tries to go up, got fouled on the way up. He got fouled by Phillips. Hajdukovic to go to the line for 2. First shot's good. And we get another hockey line change for the Bulldogs. The original starters are back in. They do that just as I start to get used to the names that are out there. They switch them on me again. Here's Hajdukovic with his second shot. It's around and out. Jensen gets a rebound, puts it up, it's no good. Albright grabbed the rebound, but he got fouled. I think it's going to be on Hollister.
Oh, really?
I take it back. No, it's on Kaiser. You were right.
Oofta. That's a big body to get hit by.
Albright puts up the shot, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. Ensminger to Albright, or to Sikora, now to Albright. Back out to Sikora. To Ensminger, high, wide, and right. Between the circles to Albright, to Jensen in the paint. He kicks it out to Sikora. Back to Albright, top of the key. Back to Sikora on the right side to Albright.
Boyceville in zone.
To Jensen. Then to Hajdukovic from the baseline. Shot's no good. Rebound taken away by Boyceville. Coming down the floor is Olsen. He's on the right side. Gets it over to the left side to Romhild. Then to Evenson. Evenson dribbles it back out high. His pass was for Romhild. Good thing that Olsen was backing him up. Olsen gets it over to Hollister. Then to Evenson. Stops at the free throw line. Tries to put up the shot. It got blocked. But the Bulldogs get it back. Olsen has it. Tries to pass it along, down to the baseline a little bit high. And when Romhild caught it, he was out of bounds.
So Boyceville going to put on a full court press.
Albright with it. Over to Sikora. Tries to throw it. Yeah, I think he tried to throw a slider through there instead of throwing it over the heads. You can tell baseball season's coming up.
Who we got? Ensminger? Yep.
No, it was just.
Yep. Ensminger on the fault.
Well, anyway. Bulldogs have it down in the right corner. Olsen with it. He's double teamed. And he walked with it. He was going to try to throw it off of Albright. And he walked with it before he could. Good double team by the Vikings down in the right corner. Gave him absolutely nowhere to move.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be.
Vikings get the ball across the timeline. Hajdukovic with it, lays it up. It won't roll in, but Jensen puts it up and in and got fouled. Jensen with the putback, and he's going to get a chance at the +1.
Foul is on number 4, Nick Olsen.
That's the 5th foul on the Bulldogs. And again, we get a hockey line change. Bulldogs use that platooning method. Jensen's free throw is good. 12-2, Vikings by 10. Ball's inbounded to Bowell. Then they get it over to Phillips, who takes it to the timeline. He steps over the line and then gets Vikings ball, gets the ball away from him. Over to Ensminger, lays it in. Mason Bowell with it. Feeds it across the timeline. It got tipped by Hajdukovic. Bowell got it back, and now it's scramble 4 on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball called. And I believe it's going to be Boyceville ball. They have the possession arrow. Coach Knoll having a little conversation with one of the officials over there. Long inbound pass to Halama. He's between the circles. Dribbling back and forth. Feeds it over to the right side. Now down into the corner. Wold with the shot. It's no good. Rebound. Out of bounds. Taken out of bounds by Weldon, or Wielden. I think it's Weldon. Albright gets it into Hajdukovic, back to Albright. Full court pressure being put on by the Bulldogs. Hajdukovic tries to throw it over to Sikora, but overshot him. (14-2), 10:40 to go in the first half. Vikings on top. Wold with the ball. He gets it over. Well, they get it over to the left side. Wold has it now back between the circles. Over to the right side to Phillips. Phillips drives the baseline, puts it up. It's no good. Rebound chased out of there by Ensminger. Takes it down the floor, gets it to Sikora, lays it up and in. And we get a timeout on the floor by the Boyceville Bulldogs. Vikings 16, Bulldogs 2. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFem is a slam dunk. That's FitFem Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
Back here at Colfax High School, Vikings have opened up a 16-2 lead over the Boyceville Bulldogs. Boyceville the inbound. They get it into Phillips. Cross-court pass over to Halama. Now he's double-teamed. Full-court pressure, but the Bulldogs finally break it. They get the ball to Bull, and it gets knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, good hustle by Nate Hajdukovic. Get back and out, Nick Jensen.
Ball inbounded to Phillips. Out to Wold. Over to Halama. Then along the baseline to Ball. To Halama, puts up the shot from three. No good. Rebound. Out of bounds. Last touch by Hajdukovic.
That's one thing about Nate Hajdukovic. You know, he might have an off night on the offense, but he always can make it up in his defense.
Tristan Lenz back into the lineup, giving Nick Jensen a break. Bulldogs put up a three by Wold. It's no good, and the ball is out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. Albright to inbound to Ensminger. Oh, he didn't give it to Ensminger. He gave it to Hajdukovic, who gives it to Sikora. Feeds it up to Lenz. Lenz back out to Sikora between the circles. Sikora directing traffic over to Ensminger on the left. Down into the corner to Sikora to Lenz. Ball got knocked out of his hands. And a pretty good wrestling move that time by Lenz, and he got away with it. That was like a single leg takedown that time. He should get 2 points for that, right?
Right.
Wold with the ball at the top of the key for the Bulldogs. Feeds it back out to Olsen on the right side. Takes it down the right side, gets it out to Hollister. Over to Olsen to Kaiser, and Kaiser puts it up and in. Used his body that time, gave himself a little bit of room, and put it in for two. 16-4, Vikings by 12. Ensminger on the dribble, gets it over to Sikora. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger over to Albright on the right. Albright down to Ensminger, back out to Sikora. He's between the circles. Over to the left side to Albright. To Ensminger on the right. Ensminger drives down to the baseline. Kicks it out to Sikora. Sikora takes it back out high, wide and left. Down into the corner to Ensminger. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down. Well fought for on the floor. Still loose. And we're going to get a jump ball called. It'll be Viking ball. They have the possession arrow. Tell you what, both these teams are scrapping out there right now.
Yeah, both teams have something to play for right now.
Austin Swanson into the lineup for the Vikings, giving Nate Hajdukovic a bit of a break. Inbound pass got partially blocked, and the Bulldogs come away with it. Olsen across the timeline. Feeds it over to Wold on the right side. Back out high to Bowell. To Hollister, now down underneath the Kaiser. Then he gets it over to Bowell, who tries it, no good.
Somebody's got to come and help.
And we get a timeout called by the Vikings. So the timeout on the floor. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Friday, February 11th when the Vikings host the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Friday, February 11th.
And Dan, that's going to be a good one tomorrow night, and we're going to have it all right back here at the Colfax High School gym, and it's a battle for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and the winner is most likely, it'd take a miracle for that team not to win the conference championship. Mathematically, it's not a done deal yet, but pretty much it would take a miracle. Vikings have it on the right side, Ensminger with the ball. Gets it down into the corner to Sikora, back out to Ensminger, out between the circles to Albright. Albright to Sikora. Sikora on the right side. Takes it to the free throw line, feeds it over to Ensminger on the left. Ensminger at the top of the key. Feeds it down underneath to Lenz. Lenz puts it to the floor, and they're going to say he traveled.
I don't know about that one.
I think maybe he might have faked the official out with the ball fake, because I don't think he moved his feet till he put the ball to the floor. But we're a long ways away, so what do we know? Wold inbound it. He gets it into Olsen for the Bulldogs. They feed it down to Evenson, takes it into the paint, lays it up and in. Simon Evenson, the 6-foot junior, with 2 points for the Bulldogs, narrows it to 10. Ensminger with it, high, wide, and right. Comes off the pick of Jensen, loses the handle on the ball, though it's picked up by Wold. He feeds it down to the right side to Olsen. Then it's over to Hollister, back out to Wold, over to the left side to Evenson. Evenson between the circles, over to Hollister, puts it up a three, no good. Rebound, taken away by Kaiser. Wold with it on the left side. Gets it up to Hollister, gets Kaiser in the paint, turns around, puts it up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. To Swanson, back to Ensminger. Ensminger to Sikora. Sikora takes down the right side, tries an off-balance shot, it's no good. Kaiser with the rebound. He gets it to Olsen and brings it across on the left side. Over to the right side to Wold, and then to Evenson down in the right corner. Back out to Hollister, now over to the left side to Olsen. To the free throw line to Kaiser, puts up the shot, he hit it. Grant Kaiser.
He has 6.
6 of their 8. And the Bulldogs have cut the Viking lead to 8. 5:30 to go in the first half. Ensminger on the dribble. Takes it over to the left side. And we're going to get a foul. I believe it's on Chase Hollister, and it is. It's the 6th foul on the Bulldogs. So after the Vikings inbound, they'll be in the bonus. Albright gets it into Sikora. Sikora across the timeline. Changes direction, goes over to the left side. Feeds it out to Albright. Three-pointer by Albright. He's got 9 points worth of threes.
3 threes.
19-8, Vikings on top. Kaiser with it. Gets it to Olsen on the left side. He takes it into the paint, puts the shot up. It's no good. Rebound taken away by Sikora. And we had a timeout called by the Vikings. Sikora was laying on his belly. He couldn't even pass it without getting up, which would have been a travel. And so Coach Noel quickly called a timeout. Hey, don't forget, we do have that girls basketball game coming up tomorrow night. And then we've got even more basketball this week because on Saturday, we're going to be right back here at Colfax once again as the boys are going to take on the Osceola Chieftains. Bet you forgot about that one, Dan.
I did. I wonder what conference that is. Osceola.
Oh. I knew.
I'll have to look it up.
I knew at one time.
Huh.
So we've got the Osceola Chieftains. That's a 7:30 start, I believe. So we'll be on the air at 7:10 with Viking pregame. Sikora with the ball. Through the center circle. Gets it over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Then back out high. And then over to Jensen on the left. To Hajdukovic. Over to Sikora on the right. Feeds it down underneath to Jensen. Quick shot out to Albright. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by Lenz. Trying to find a way to the basket. He gets it out to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic drives the baseline, trapped underneath there. Lenz gets it, and they were battling for the ball, and I think it was, we're going to get a foul.
It's going to be a Lenz?
I think that's what they called. That's an interesting call.
Yeah, it's kind of a free ball.
And if anything, Lenz had the better chance at it.
Osceola's in the Middle Border Conference.
Okay. Well, down the floor come the Bulldogs. Simon Evenson gets it over to Wold on the left side. Takes it out to the top of the key, feeds it over to the right side to Evenson. Evenson to the free throw line, back out to Wold. Now over to Hollister to Evenson, and Evenson took an extra step.
I don't know.
Albright getting ready.
Seems like I've seen that quite a bit this year. The refs calling traveling.
Irwin with it for the Vikings. Gets it over to Hajdukovic on the right side. Back over to Irwin on the left. Down underneath to Jensen. Puts a shot up. It goes in. Nick Jensen makes it 21-8. Vikings on top. Olsen with the ball between the circles for the Bulldogs. To Wold on the left. Over to the right side to Evenson. Evenson stops at the top of the key to Hollister on the right. Hollister to Wold. Over to the left side to Evenson. Puts up the shot. It's no good. Sikora with it. Down the floor he comes. Gets it to Hajdukovic at the free throw line. Jump stop. Feeds it out to Albright. Thought about the three. Gets it back over to Hajdukovic. Now to Sikora. He's out high, wide, and right. To Albright. Between the circles. Over to the left side to Irwin. To Jensen at the top of the key. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's on Olsen in the lane. It is. That's his second foul. Seventh foul on the Bulldogs. And that's going to send Nate Hajdukovic to the line for the 1-and-1. Hajdukovic has the ball. It's on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by the Bulldogs. Olsen on the dribble. He gets it over to Romhild on the left side. Out to Kaiser from the free throw line. Shots no good. Rebound. A lot of collision by Boyceville. Several Boyceville players trying to grab the rebound, but they grabbed themselves instead. And the Vikings have it. Sikora brings it down the floor. Over to the left side to Irwin. Irwin on the dribble. Now feeds it over to the right side to Sikora. Sikora Takes it out high, then back down low to Albright. Albright out to the top of the key, over to Irwin. Irwin goes between the circles. Hands it off to Albright, going back around to the left. To Hajdukovic. Back out to Irwin. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound being battled for. Wold has it. And he's on the dribble. Feeds it over to Olsen on the left side. Puts up the three from the left side. It's no good. Rebound chased down by Wold. He gets it out to Romhild. Romhild into traffic. Then they get it out. Olsen has it now high, wide, and left. Feeds it over to the right side. This is Wold. Gets it to Olsen. Olsen into the paint. Gets it out to Wold on the right side. He takes it into the paint. Feeds it out to Romhild from three. He hit it. 21-11. Vikings lead cut to 10. Under a minute to go in the first half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile and a Colfax High School report. And Sikora lost a handle on the ball, tried to save it, but slid out of bounds in the process. Ensminger comes in for the Vikings, replacing Irwin. And checking in is Jack Phillips, replacing Olsen. Oh no, Olsen stayed in, because he's got the ball. Feeds it into the forecourt to Wold on the left side. Takes it down the left side of the lane, puts a shot up, it rolls in. 21-13, 35 seconds remaining in the half. Sikora taking his time, gets it across the timeline on the left side. Circles, comes back out high, over to Hajdukovic on the right. Hajdukovic takes it to the free throw line, feeds it back out to Albright, over to Ensminger, high, wide, and right. 15 seconds, Vikings looking for one shot. Ensminger under 10, takes it into the paint, and they're going to say he traveled. They're going to say Ensminger traveled with the ball. So 5 seconds remaining. Bulldogs have it. Romhild inbound, gets it to Olsen. Olsen across the timeline with 2 seconds. Wold puts up the three, no good. And we're at halftime with the score. The Vikings 21, the Boyceville Bulldogs 13. And we have Viking halftime coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Elijah Ensminger. And Elijah, what year are you here at Colfax?
I'm a sophomore here.
Now, we know that you play basketball, but are there any other school activities that you're involved with?
Yeah, I do football.
Okay. And you had a struggle season this year, but you had some good moments as well.
Yeah, we definitely struggled this year.
Well, we'll get that turned around in basketball, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience has that been for you?
I started probably ever since I was a little kid, and it's been a great experience, been able to get in the gym, nothing but good things.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
Definitely teamwork and leadership for that.
So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you occupied or interested?
I like to spend time with family. Big family guy.
Okay, now here's a few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
Cotton candy.
Oh boy, cotton candy. Okay. Your favorite color and why?
Blue. I think I don't know. I just wear it the most, I think.
Okay. All right. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably flying so I can get anywhere I want without like traffic or anything, you know.
Okay, sounds like a good idea to me. Now, if you have a superpower like that, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Elijah's superhero name?
You know, I don't even know. I have to think about that one.
Okay, something like Airborne Elijah, but who knows what, right?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
The Bucks.
Okay, and it'd be hard not to be after last year, right? Favorite collegiate team?
Wisconsin, the Badgers.
Okay, we're talking with Elijah Ensminger on Viking Profile. And Elijah, what are your plans for after high school?
Either if I can play basketball, that would be great, but either a 4-year or CVTC I'm looking into.
Okay, any idea what you want to go into?
No, not right now.
And you got plenty of time to figure all that out. How about a shout out to the family?
I'd like to thank my grandma, Nana, and my mom, Jess. Thanks, guys.
Okay, and when people watch Viking basketball games, where on the floor are they going to find Elijah Ensminger?
Hopefully right in the center playing.
Okay. All right. Say, we want to thank Elijah Ensminger for joining us today on Viking Profile. We have more Viking Halftime coming up right after this.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, it starts to work itself out.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
The Colfax Vikings athletics once again had a busy week last week. The Bloomer Colfax Raptors wrestling team competed in the Cloverbelt Wrestling Tournament last Saturday, where they picked up 1 championship, 2 second-place finishes, a third, a fourth, 2 fifth-place finishes, and a 6th. The Raptors had 3 wrestlers in championship matches. At 145 pounds, Alex Poyer was pinned in the championship match by Abbotsford Colby wrestler Tanner Halupka in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Meanwhile, at 152 pounds, Luke Blanchard finished second after dropping an 8-3 decision to Tristan Dreyer of Cadott. Then at 160 pounds, Raptor Bowen Rothbauer captured a Cloverbelt Conference championship by defeating Cole Pfeiffer of Cadott. The Viking boys picked up a win and 2 losses in their 3 games last week. On Monday, the 31st, the Vikings defeated Prairie Farm in a tough physical game, 68-62. Then on Tuesday, February 1st, the boys were defeated by Mondovi 70-44. And then on Friday the 4th, the Vikings just couldn't quite dig out of an early hole that they found themselves in as they lost to the Durand Panthers 57-49. At the end of the week, those games left the Vikings with an overall record of 7 wins and 9 losses, 3-6 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Viking girls also had 3 games last week, resulting in 3 wins. On Monday, January 31st, they defeated the Prairie Farm Panthers 62-54. Then on Tuesday the 1st, the Viking girls defeated the Altoona Railroaders 65-49. On Thursday the 3rd, the Viking girls wrapped up their week by trouncing the Boyceville Bulldogs 56-12. Those games leave the Vikings with an overall record of 18-2 and 9-1 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. With another COVID makeup game this week proves to be another busy schedule for Viking basketball teams with 5 games total. On Monday, the Viking boys will travel to Thorpe to make up a game with the Cardinals that was postponed back on December 3rd. Then on Thursday, the boys will host the Boyceville Bulldogs. And finally, the boys will wrap up their week on Saturday when they play host to the Osceola Chieftains. We are carrying all 3 games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Viking girls are scheduled for 2 games this week. On Tuesday, the Lady Vikings will travel to Spring Valley to take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. Then on Friday, the girls will do battle for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference when they host the Elk Mound Mounders. We are carrying both those games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. On Saturday, the Bloomer Colfax Raptors will travel to Neillsville to take part in the WIAA Regional Wrestling Tournament. Now, coming up next week, any Bloomer Colfax Raptors who qualify will travel to Amory for the WIAA Sectional Tournament to try to qualify for a trip to the WIAA State Tournament in Madison. The Viking boys basketball team will have 3 games next week. On Tuesday the 15th, the boys will travel to Spring Valley to take on the Cardinals. Then on Thursday the 17th, the boys will host those same Cardinals in a makeup game that was originally scheduled for January 13th. That game will be part of a boys then girls doubleheader. Then on Friday, the 18th, the boys will travel to Elk Mound to take on the Elk Mound Mounders. We will carry all 3 of those games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Viking girls are scheduled for 2 games next week. On Monday the 14th, they will travel to Elmwood to make up their game with the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, which was originally scheduled for January 14th. Then on Thursday the 17th, the girls will host those same Wolves, and that will be part 2 of that boy-girl doubleheader, and we will carry those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In other school news, parent-teacher conferences are coming up on Monday and Tuesday of next week, so it's not too early to plan to find some time to attend your child's parent-teacher conference. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for the week of February 6th through the 12th.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
And we're back here at Colfax High School where the Vikings have opened up a 21-13 lead over the Boyceville Bulldogs. Dan, you've got some numbers for us. Why don't you tell us how we got to that score?
Here's the scores for the Boyceville Bulldogs. Let's pick it up off the floor. Right now, their leader is number 32, Grant Kaiser. He's got 6. Brandon Romhild has 3. Caden Wold has 2. And Simon Evenson has 2. For the Colfax Vikings, their leader right now is Ryan Albright with 9. Then we have Nick Jensen with 5. Bryce Sikora with 4. And Nate Hajdukovic with 1.
Okay, and the Vikings have a 21-13 lead. We've got a little bit of time before the start of the second half, so we're going to take a real quick time out here, get some more words in from our sponsors, and we'll be back right after this. You're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV and Viking TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're getting ready to start the second half. Out on the floor for the Vikings is Hajdukovic, Ensminger, Sikora, Albright, and Lenz. And for the Bulldogs, we have Olsen and Phillips, Romhild, and Kaiser. Oh, and there he is over there, Wold. I was looking down where the traffic was, and Wold wasn't in the traffic. He was out on a wing. All right, Bulldogs have it on the left side. Wold bounce pass along the baseline. And it was over to Phillips, and
see if they get Kaiser.
There was a foul, and it's going to be on Grant Kaiser. It's his second personal. First team foul, and the Vikings have it. Sikora with it. Full court press being put on by the Bulldogs. Sikora dribbles it quickly up into the forecourt, down into the right corner. Out to Hajdukovic, high, wide, and right. Hands it off to Sikora, takes it out to the center circle. Back over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic around the screen by Lenz. Feeds it to Lenz underneath, off the backboard. Back out to Albright, then to Sikora, to Ensminger on the left side. Ensminger tries to bounce pass into the lane, but it gets intercepted by Romhild. Then over to Wold for the Bulldogs. Down the floor to Phillips on the left side. Gets it out to Romhild, high, wide, and left. Over to the right elbow to Wold. Tries to feed it down the baseline. Just a little bit too wide for Olsen. So Ensminger with it. Across the timeline for the Vikings. Takes it over to the left side. Ball gets knocked away by Romhild. Tries to throw it so it goes off the legs of the Vikings. But the Vikings pick it up. Ensminger has it, takes it to the right elbow, now backs out to the right side. Out to Hajdukovic, they swing it around to Sikora, to Lenz on the left baseline, turns around, puts it up, no good. He gets the rebound. Ball gets knocked loose. He gets it back, gets it out to Ensminger. Ensminger takes it to the elbow, now hands it off to Sikora. Sikora, jump shot from the right elbow, goes in. 23-13.
Sikora's got 6.
And we're going to get an offensive foul being called right at the timeline on Jack Phillips. Threw an elbow to try and get some room. Just gave him basically a forearm shiver is what he gave him. So the Vikings have it between the circles. Ensminger gets it to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic over on the left side into a little bit of trouble, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Sikora inbounds it, feeds it into Ensminger along the baseline, turns around, tries to put it up, got fouled going up. I think it's going to be on Halama. Halama? Ensminger at the line for the Vikings to shoot 2. First one's up and good. Second shot on the way, it's good. 25-13, Vikings back up by 12. Long pass to Wold on the right side, takes it into the paint, turns, puts it up, rolls around and in. Sikora with it for the Vikings across the timeline. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic. Tries to put it up in traffic and didn't get it there. Hajdukovic came down kind of funny, I think, but I think he's all right. Wold with it, feeds it over into the left corner. Back out to Wold. Jump shot by Romhild is no good. Ball picked up by Lenz. Gets it to Sikora. Sikora off the left side. Now gets it over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Gets into traffic, gets it out to Albright, puts up the 3. No good. Kaiser with the rebound for the Bulldogs. This is Olsen with it. Feeds it over to the left side to Wold. Down to Halama. And his shot is good for a 3. Devin Halama.
His first 3 points.
6-foot sophomore. 25-18. Vikings by 7. Sikora with it to Lenz. Back over to Sikora on the right side. To the free throw line to Hajdukovic. To Lenz, three-pointer launch, no good. Rebound, chased down and pulled away by Romhild. Gets it over to Olsen. Olsen on the right side. He's in traffic. Gets it down to Halama, and his shot is no good from 3. Quickly down the floor comes Ensminger. He's on the run. He gets into traffic, puts it up, no good. Lenz with the rebound. It bounces off his shoulder. Vikings get it back to Ensminger. Long pass. I was going to try to lay it up there for Sikora, but it was just a little bit too high for him.
Yeah, did it hit the rim?
It might have. That was that look that Sikora gave, like, oh, man. Because he was wide open for the backdoor pass. $13:54 to go. Olsen on the dribble for the Bulldogs. Over to Wold on the left side. He's high, wide, and left. Gets it down into the left corner to Evenson. Evenson dribbles it out, now takes it into the paint, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. So the foul's on Mitch Medine. It's his first personal. First team foul on the Vikings. Olsen looking to inbound it. He gets it in, and then Halama puts up the shot from the paint. Partially blocked. Olsen got the rebound, puts it up. It's going to count, and he got the harm. Foul's going to be on Jensen. It's his first personal. Second team foul. Olsen at the line to try to cut it to 4. Shot is up, no good. Lenz with the rebound. Gets it to Sikora. Vikings lead has been cut to 5. They had it as high as 12 this half. Sikora to Lenz at the top of the key. Over to the left side to Albright. Back out high to Sikora. Sikora takes it over to the right side. Feeds it over to Medine. Back out to Sikora. Sikora over to Albright on the left. Back to Sikora. To Jensen on the left side. Takes it down the left baseline. Puts it up. It goes in.
Yeah, good move by Nick Jensen.
That's 7 points for Jensen. 27-7, or 27-20. Olsen with the ball. He's between the circles. Leads it over to the left side to Wold. Wold takes it to the paint. Kicks it back out to Olsen. Olsen at the top of the key. Over to Wold on the right side. Now he gets on to Evenson in the corner. Ball gets knocked loose. Evenson picks it up. Back out to Wold at the top of the key. Wold takes it down the left side, puts it up and in.
Yeah, good move by Caden Wold.
6 points for him. Sikora with it. Feeds it to Lenz. In the paint. Tries to go up and got fouled by Olsen. That's the third foul on Olsen. Lenz at the line for 2. First shot is good. Hajdukovic and Ensminger come in for Sikora and Albright. Lenz has the ball. His second shot on the way. It's good. 29-22. Evenson with it for the Bulldogs. Feeds it over to the left side to Wold. Wold to Olsen on the right. Takes it to the top of the key. Still on the dribble. Gets it over to the left corner. Three-pointer on the way by Evenson is no good. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. Ensminger with a long pass, and it's intercepted by Olsen. It was intended for Hajdukovic. Gets it to Wold at the free throw line. Over to the left side to Evenson. Evenson on the dribble, gets it over to Wold. Tries the left baseline. Lost the handle, and it's Vikings ball. Hajdukovic to inbound. Gets it to Medine, back to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic pulls up at the top of the key. Gets it over to Medine from the left side. Three-pointer, he hit it! Mitch Medine with a three-pointer from the left side. 32-22, Vikings back up by 10. Wold with the ball on the left side. Gets it to Evenson. He dribbles it back out high. Down into the corner to Hollister. Hollister on the dribble. Gets it back out to Evenson. Three-pointer on the way. He hit that one. 32-25. Vikings by 7. Hajdukovic, high, wide, and left. Pass down to Medine. Pops another three. It's on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by the Bulldogs. Evenson on the rebound. Takes it down the floor. Feeds it over to the right side to Olsen. Takes it to the elbow. To Wold cutting through the lane. He puts it up and in, and we get a timeout called. 10:13 to go. Vikings 32, Bulldogs 27. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Simplify your life. Pleasant Valley Properties provides affordable housing and homes in communities in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. They have staff available to help you locate the home that best meets your needs and desires, as well as service staff that maintains the properties. Contact Pleasant Valley Properties at 715-226-6200. Call today and let them help you get into the home of your dreams. That's Pleasant Valley Properties, 301 Bremer Avenue in Colfax.
When you've checked that hayfield and find it's time to harvest, give a call to Aaron's Custom Baling. Aaron will provide you with 4x5 net-wrapped round bales. He can even give you bales that spruced up look with select custom netting if you'd like. Serving Western Wisconsin, that's Aaron's Custom Baling. Call 715-202-0118.
Well, Dan, we've still got a game here. Vikings still on top. They have been the whole game, 32-27.
Yeah.
But it's only a 5-point lead.
Colfax defense has to get a little nasty in the paint.
Vikings inbound the ball. Sikora has it. Sikora takes it to the top of the key, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Foul from behind by Chase Hollister. That's his second. Vikings to inbound. They get it out to Sikora. By the way, that's a 5th-team foul on the Bulldogs. Albright to Hajdukovic. From the paint, puts it up and in. 34-27. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. Feed it out to the top of the key to Wold. Wold with a pull-up jumper, and it's good.
Caden Wold with the hot hand right now.
He's got 10 points. And we have a foul being called on Evenson, I believe. He thought he had a clean steal. And the official said, no, he got him by the wrist. That's the 6th foul on the Bulldogs. And we're going to get another foul on Evenson. This time he reached around and got him in the hip. And that's going to put Sikora to the line for the 1-1. First shot is up and good. Bryce Sikora. And the second shot is good. Well, they don't have him listed up there on the scoreboard, so.
Oh.
I was going to look and see how many points he had, but he's not listed up there.
Bryce
Rolled
says.
into the paint. Then from the corner, Evenson puts it up, and he got fouled while shooting a three.
Sikora's got 8. That foul is on Ensminger.
And it's his third team foul, but it's going to put Evenson to the line to shoot 3. First shot on the way is good. 36-30, Vikings up by 6. Second shot is good. And the next shot, that one's no good. And the Vikings come away with a rebound. Down the floor goes Sikora. I'd say the turf monster got Ensminger that time, but it's not turf. Ensminger shot partially blocked. He got the ball back. Gets it out to Lenz. Over to Albright. Three-pointer on the way. He hit the three!
12 points for Albright. All threes.
Wold has it on the right side. Bounced a little hard off the floor. Got a little high, and the Vikings came away with it. Down the floor comes Sikora. Takes it into the paint. Lays it up. He got fouled going in. We'll see who they call it on. Foul is going to be on Chase Hollister. It's his third. Sikora's first shot is no good. Kalama in. Hollister has a seat on the bench. Second shot on the way. It's good. Vikings by 9, 40-31. Evenson with it. Gets it over to the left side to Olsen. Feeds it underneath to Kaiser. His layup is no good. And down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it. Jump stop. Feeds it back out to Ensminger. Ensminger in the paint. Puts it up, no good. Rebound, dribbled out of traffic by Hajdukovic. He gets it out to Sikora. Coach Knoll saying slow things down. Sikora over to Hajdukovic from the left wing. No good. Lenz with the rebound, and he got fouled. He's going to be fouled by Olsen, I believe. It is, and that's 4 fouls on Olsen.
So you have to take a seat.
Kaiser and Olsen have a seat. Romhild and Hollister back into the lineup. Lenz's shot is good. So he gets another. That was the 9th team foul on Boyceville. So the Vikings will be in the double bonus from this point on. Second shot by Lenz. Rattles around and out. Rebound taken down by Albright. His putback is no good. Loose ball, tied up, and we're going to get a foul on Albright, I believe. That's his first personal. 4th team foul on the Vikings. Halama gets it into Wold. Across the timeline. Gets it down to the right side. Romehill puts it up from the paint, no good. Lenz with the rebound. Down the floor comes Sikora. Sikora feeds it underneath the Hajdukovic, lays it up and in. Nice pass that time by Sikora to find Hajdukovic right underneath the basket. Bulldogs with it on the right side. They get it out high. Now down to the right corner to Wold. Wold takes it to the left side. Jump stop, whistle, and a foul. Foul's going to be on Albright. It's his second personal, 15 foul. First shot is good. Second shot on the way. It's no good. Vikings come away with it. Sikora with it, takes it down the right side, stops at the baseline, puts up the jump shot, and we're going to get a foul on the way up. That foul is going to be on Halama.
His second.
Sikora's first shot is no good.
Oh, they're saying it's his first.
Second shot is up. It's no good. Rebound by Lenz. Takes it to the paint. Puts it up, no good. Gets his own back. Puts it back up, no good. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. Evenson has it between the circles. Feeds it over to the left side to Romehill. Romehill down along the baseline. Picks it back out to Hollister. Hollister on the left side to Wold. He's at the elbow. Gets it out to Evenson. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound chased down by Halama, but he was on the baseline. His heels came down on the baseline. He was actually fine as long as he was up on his toes. It's when he let his heels come down that he was out of bounds. I think the official got a little help from the fans up here behind us, too. Hajdukovic.
Always good to have that six-man.
Sure. Or in this case, the sixth official, because that's about how many were back here hollering. Ensminger has it on the left side for the Vikings. Takes it to the top of the key. Thought about a three. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. On the left side. Tries to feed it into Lenz. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Halama. Hajdukovic to inbound. Hajdukovic gets it into Ensminger. High, wide, and left. Takes it out to the center circle. Slid a little bit, and now they're going to get him for a travel.
Little indecision there by Ensminger.
He's frustrated with himself. Olsen with it. Over the Bulldogs, through the center circle. Gets it over to the left side, back out high to Olsen. 43-32, Vikings by 11. Olsen takes it over to the left side. Back over to the right side now to Wold. Wold to the free throw line, into the paint, feeds it out to Olsen on the left. Olsen drives into the paint, puts it up, he got fouled. They're going to say Hajdukovic.
That's his first.
It's going to put Olsen to the line. That's the sixth foul on the Vikings. Means the Bulldogs will be in the bonus from this point on, too. Olsen's first shot is good. Vikings lead is 10. Second shot is also good. Sikora with it for the Vikings. Across the timeline on the right side. Out to the top of the key to Albright, then into the lane to Hajdukovic. Shot is no good. Ball gets tipped around. Hajdukovic comes away with it, gets it to Sikora. To Lenz on the right side of the lane. Back out to Sikora. Out to the top of the key to Ensminger. Three-pointer. He hit it! Ensminger called the bank, got the loan, and got the three.
He has 7.
We don't know what his interest rate's going to be on that, but depends on how much the bank is charging. Boyceville with it on the left side. That's Olsen. Hits it out to Hollister at the top of the key. Takes it into the paint. Jump shot is no good. Lenz with the rebound. Lenz gets it to Sikora. Sikora down the floor. Gets it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. To Ensminger. Ensminger thought about the three, but gets it off to Albright. To Sikora. Jump shot from the side of the paint is good. 48-34, Vikings by 14. Boyceville with it on the right side. Olsen. And we're going to get a foul being called on Boyceville, an offensive foul. Foul's on Hollister. It's his 4th. Vikings will inbound. Sikora with it, takes it across the timeline. Over to the right side, to Ensminger. To Hajdukovic in the paint, gets it back out to Sikora, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound being battled for, coming away with it is the Bulldogs. Down the floor is Evenson. To Kaiser at the free throw line, gets it over to the left side to Olsen. To Kaiser on the baseline, he lays it up, it's no good. Down the floor come the Vikings. And we have a timeout being called. Timeout on the floor. 2:54 left. Vikings 48. Bulldogs 34. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Saturday, February 12th when the Vikings host the Osceola Chieftains. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 7:10 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Saturday, February 12th.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Friday, February 11th when the Vikings host the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Friday, February 11th.
Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Jeff Gust on the camera. Vikings with a 48-34 lead. Vikings to inbound the ball. Sikora has it. Top of the key. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. He's out high, wide, and left. Vikings going to take their time. And we're going to get a traveling call on Hajdukovic. He did a little bit of a hop step there before he passed the ball away. Dan shaking his head here. Looked pretty close to a jump stop to me. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. Evenson with it. To Wold. Over to Romehild on the left side. Romehild being guarded closely, and he tripped over Hajdukovic's leg, and they're going to get Hajdukovic with the foul. That's his second personal, 7th team foul on the Vikings. Romehild to go to the line. He's shooting the 1-and-1. First one's up. It's no good. Rebound taken high off the glass by Hajdukovic. And down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it. Across the timeline over to the right corner, or right side. Still on the dribble. Takes it to the free throw line, into the paint. Feeds it underneath to Swanson. Puts it up, no good. Gets his own rebound back. Tries to go up, but he can't. Gets it back out to Sikora. Sikora over to Albright. Albright out high. Gets it to Hajdukovic. To Sikora. Drives the left baseline. Tries to feed it over to Swanson, but Kaiser was in the way, and those long arms that Kaiser got hold of the ball. On the right side now are the Bulldogs. Evenson with it. Takes it to the free throw line, into the paint. Feeds it out to Wold on the left side. Puts a shot up. It's blocked by Swanson. Hands it off to Ensminger. And down the floor comes Elijah Ensminger across the timeline. Handing it off to Hajdukovic. Then over to Albright. To Sikora. Sikora gets the ball knocked loose, but he picks it up. Long pass over to Albright on the left side. Takes it down to the baseline, puts it up, no good. Swanson with it, he lays it up and in. Austin Swanson using his size that time. Bulldogs feed it off to the right side. Vikings on top, 50-34. Evenson thought about the three-pointer from the left side, takes it into the paint, loses the handle, ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be Bulldog ball. Vikings do the hockey line change.
Yeah, we got hockey line change for Colfax.
Bulldogs inbound the ball. We get a whistle and a foul.
Not for sure Colton's last name.
Wouldn't you know, this is the day you don't grab a program.
Maybe Jeff knows. Nope. Okay. What do we got?
Well, the foul
Dustin
was on Dustin Nigaman.
What else we got out there? Colton Hoffman, Johnson, Yarrington, and number 40, Colton. Sorry, Colton.
We'll see if they can't get him some varsity points. Free throw is on the way by Kaiser, is no good. Rebound taken out of bounds. Well, it looked to me like they both had it as they went out of bounds, but they're going to say it was off of Nigaman, and it's going to be Boyceville ball.
Yeah, I think it was off Dustin's chest.
Halama passes it in. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound tied up. Coming away with it is Johnson. He gets it over to Yarrington. Yarrington back over to Johnson across the timeline. Long shot, a little bit off. Down the floor.
Short. And it's short by Colton. So it'll be Boyceville ball. So Halama to throw it in. Gets it over to Kirsten. Gets it over to Phillips. He brings it across the timeline.
4 seconds left.
Gets it inside.
And they're going to count it. Shot went in by Weldon. So that'll make the final score Vikings 50 and the Boyceville Bulldogs 36. And we're going to have Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout. You've been tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Time now for Viking Post Game, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Post Game.
And we're back here at Colfax High School for Viking Post Game. And joining us right away is Coach Noel. Whole lot better feeling about this one than the other day.
Yes, obviously happy to have a win at home on Parents' Night. You know, a nice little crowd here at home. I was happy for the boys that play really hard. They played great defense tonight. I mean, obviously they had 36, but really I'm going to say 34 points, okay? To hold a team to 34 points when they just scored like 86 or whatever it was against Independence, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you got everybody in. You even got Colton Lemon in, and that was good to see.
Yeah,
he even got to put up a shot.
Yeah, he's our secret weapon. He had 2 long threes there that were on the top of the rim, so it was happy for him to almost make one.
Well, you know, there were some times in that game, though, that we started chewing on some fingernails here. Vikings opened up a big lead, and all of a sudden they had it down to 4.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's a game of basketball is runs, and they eventually had their run. But we were able to get the stops that we needed and come back and eventually get our run back. You know, just that we had more runs than they did.
Well, and that put you on the winning side tonight, and that's an awfully good feeling. Especially had to have a little bit of sour taste from the other night, and now that's all gone and ready to.
Yeah, we can move on from that.
Focus forward.
Hopefully, we won't think of Thorpe again until I have to drive to Wausau.
And you know, we got Osceola coming up Saturday?
Yeah, we got a big day. We've got a youth tournament here. We've got I believe it's our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that are here all day on Saturday. So our boys are going to be doing, book and clock. They're going to be putting in a little community time. And then we have our game, at normal time, or 7:15.
Oh,
Saturday
is it?
Night,
Because on the school calendar it said 7:30.
It might be 7:30.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe you knew something updated from what I'd seen.
No, if you saw 7:30, then that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah,
But
so those of you listening, our pregame will begin at about 7:10 or thereabouts.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something to do and you're bored, we're going to have basketball here all day on Saturday.
And we aren't going to get that much snow. You're not going to be busy out shoveling or anything like that. Well, congratulations again, Coach. 50-36, a pretty good feeling after earlier in the week, and now we get to head towards Saturday with a good taste in our mouth.
Yes, I love our boys. They're good kids, great kids. They're tough, and they wanted to prove that they're better than that. So I'm happy for them.
And they did that tonight. So we'll have a little more Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Well, thank you to Coach Knoll for coming up and joining us after this 50-36 win over the Boyceville Bulldogs. Dan and I are chuckling because after we were done talking on the air with Coach Knoll, he said he's learned he can't yell at these guys, or he said they're good young men, and he absolutely loves them. But if you yell at them too much, they're just like puppies. They'll pee all over the floor, and they've been peeing over the floor a lot lately.
Oh, Coach Knoll has something good
and you
to
know
say.
what? It's okay because now doesn't have to yell at them. So, and I fully understand what he means about the puppies. I got a couple at home that do exactly that. So, all right, Dan, score was 50-36. Why don't you tell us how we got there?
Here's the scores for Boyceville tonight. They're led by number 14, Caden Wold, with 11 points, followed by Simon Evenson with 7, Grant Kaiser with 6, Nick Olson with 4, Halama and Jack Phillips, or Halama and Romehill had 3, and we had Peter Weldon with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led by number 24, Ryan Albrecht. He had 12 points, followed by Bryce Sikora with 11. Elijah Ensminger had 7. Nick Jensen had 7. Nate Hajdukovic had 5. Mitch Medine had 3. Tristan Lenz had 3. And Austin Swanson had 2. 50-36. Colfax comes away with a win.
And that will put the Vikings, I'm looking at things here right now, at 8-10 on the season, 4-6 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. And a big game coming up on Saturday. It's a non-conference game, but it's against a pretty tough opponent in the Osceola Chieftains. And so we're looking forward to that one on Saturday, and we'll have that one for you here. Your thoughts about this one, though, Dan?
Yeah, I thought the boys played good together. Free throws were great. They went 10 for 14, so that helped them down the road. And, yeah, it's kind of like seeing the old Colfax team back together again.
Okay. And we've seen this team. You know what? This team just seems to come across almost like a Jekyll and Hyde team. There are days when they just play really nice basketball and they're a lot of fun to watch. And there's other days when you go, oh my goodness, what is going on here? And we've had both of those this week. You made a comment off the air that you felt kind of bad for Coach Knoll with the roller coaster ride he's been on this year. And that's true, but at least he was on the good part of the roller coaster ride today.
Yeah, you know, Coach Knoll's second year trying to get these boys figured out. The boys are trying to figure him out. And I think they are figuring out what he's asking them to do. You know, it's just now putting it together.
I think you're absolutely right about that. So, like we said, don't forget, we have Viking boys basketball coming up Saturday night as the boys will host the Osceola Chieftains. That is a non-conference matchup. Live coverage is going to begin with Viking pregame that starts at 7:10. And the opening tip-off is supposed to be at 7:30. That's Colfax boys basketball Saturday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
But boy, oh boy, do we have a big one coming up tomorrow night. Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network as the Viking girls host the Elk Mound Mounders in a Dunn St. Croix conference matchup that could determine the championship in the conference. The Viking pregame begins at 6:55. That's Colfax Viking girls basketball tomorrow night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Also on Saturday, the Bloomer Colfax Wrestling Raptors are going to compete in the WIAA Regional Wrestling Tournament, and that's over in Neillsville. I would like to remind you also that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital, Dairy State Bank, Anderson Bridges, Slayton's Technology, Pleasant Valley Properties, Aaron's Custom Baling, FitFam Nutrition of Colfax, and Kyle's Buff and Shine. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. So for Jeff Gust and Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. Final score once again, Vikings 50, the Boyceville Bulldogs 36. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.